Hello, this is Anthony. Today I'll be reviewing a movie I just saw on Netflix with my wife called Boys in the Trees. One of the problems with Netflix search engines is it's a little too broad, because this was in the horror section, and while it did have elements of horror, it was definitely more of a coming-of-age movie. It's the director Verso's first outing. With that in mind, it was a decent first effort. It kind of felt like a Goosebumps TV episode in a lot of places, except for there was a lot of cursing and some mature subject matter at the end, which pushed it out of the PG rating. That said, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It was a decent movie. It had its problems, but it was watchable. And that's my spoiler-free review. Now, this movie took place in the 90s. It starred two friends who hadn't seen each other in a while. They kind of grew apart. And on Halloween night, they get back together to reunite. Now, it's in the 90s, and we get that. And I have to say, early on, I really felt that it established that it was in that era without going overboard. But by the time they started playing Glycerin by Bush, it was like, I get it, guys. It's the 90s. Just maybe one too many songs to try to evoke the time period. I have to say I really like the choice in actors and Toby Wallace for this movie because, as I said, it was set in the 90s. And he reminded me a lot of Jonathan Brandis. He reminded my wife a lot of the lead actor in Hocus Pocus. So he definitely had that 90s feel down pat, which, you know, definitely helped the movie. As I said, it really felt like an episode of Goosebumps. The production, everything. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's got its place. It felt like a PG-13 type movie. Except for some they had the characters curse, so maybe a bit too much. There was some mature subject matter at the end when the last revelation came, but nothing too horror-y. There wasn't any gore. There wasn't many scares. It was just a run-of-the-mill ghost story, and that was probably one of the movie's biggest failings, was that the character who we find out at the end in the twist that he is dead, we already knew he was dead probably 20 minutes into the movie. One other thing that this movie got wrong for me in a lot of places is after the revelation, the movie felt like it was over. But much like Return of the King, it had about 15 different endings. And we really didn't need to see what happened to every single character and every single plot point resolved. I was about to make a joke that they were going to show them go to college at the very end of the movie, and before I could even make the joke, it actually happened. So maybe next time a little bit of restraint would be good. You know, we don't need to see everything. As I said, it wasn't a bad movie. I wouldn't call it a good movie. I wouldn't recommend it. But it definitely showed some promise on the filmmaker's part, and I look forward to seeing their next effort. But hopefully it would be more in one genre or the other. That's my review for The Boys in the Woods. Until next time.